and it is all about the dewatering of the sludge. The sludge dewatering is done mainly in the significance and in order to reduce the water content of the sludges. That is, the ultimate sludge disposal method will generally have a major influence on a dewatering method most suitable for a particular STP. So coming to the dewatering process, that is, what is dewatering actually means. The digested sewage sludge is usually dewatered before its disposal. That is, the removal of water from the sludge before its disposal. So the dewatered sludge still contain a significant amount of water, often as much as 70%. But even with the moisture content, sludge no longer behaves as a liquid and can be handled as a solid material. So if we dewater the sludge, the significant amount of moisture can be reduced and the sludge can be handled or disposed of or transported very easily. Then the dewatering process involves the digested sludge or a slurry is first spread on the open bed of sand and allowed to remain until dry, and this process is called windrows, as the sludge is disposed of in the windrows in a separate manner. So the drying takes place by means of combination of evaporation as well as the gravity drainage. Once the water is evaporated by action of sun, or it also to be by the action of gravity, it drained under the sand. So the piping network built under the sand collects the water which is dewatered and is pumped back to the head of the plant, or it can be dewatered again. About 6 to weeks of drying, the sludge cake, it is called, may have a solid content of about 40%. From the initial of 70% of water content, it may originally contains 40%, so the 30% has to be dewatered, and it can be then removed from the sand with a pitchfork or the front end loader. It is mainly a type of scraping devices in which consist of a scraper to remove the sludge from the place where it is drying. In order to ensure the climate, that is the temperature, whether the drying is carried out in the cold temperature or in the hot temperature, a glass enclosure, a cover, or a open tank or a closed tank may be preferred. So the alternative to the sludge drying beds include the rotary drum vacuum filter. It consists of a rotary drum which rotates at a small rotation. During its rotation, it dewatered the sludge. So the water which is dewatered from the sludge again enter into a sedimentation tank. It is continued to sediment in the sedimentation tank and is removed again. These mechanical systems require only less space compared to the sludge drying bed, because these sludge drying beds ensures the big area, and it also ensures the odor problem as well as the neutral problem, and it will be a big trouble in case of the rainy areas. If the rain is more and it is frequently raining, the entire places will be smudged off, and we have to need alternate improvement for this control. So it is produced by a step-by-step process called the sludge containing, in which the chemicals are added to the liquid sludge to coagulate solids and improve its drainability. Then the coming to the centrifuge dewatering, it consists of a solid bowl which rotates and contains the process. The screw conveyor contained with the bill turns at a slightly different speed from the bowl. Then the feed slurry is introduced into the feed chamber assembly by a stationary feed tube. So coming to the centrifuge dewatering, the liquid flows from the point where it is introduced to the point to the liquid weir at the larger end of the rotating assembly. As the liquid flows through the point, the gravity force causes the solid to settle out the liquid and to sediment against the bowl wall. This causes the blanket of solids to build up against the bowl wall. These solids that is dewatered from the centrifuge processing, they turn slightly at a different speed than the bow. Then the solid are pushed in the horizontal directions up an incline and ultimately out the liquid prior to the being discharged from the bowl. So the centrifugal force is constantly exerted on the solids in order to produce the desired solids in the discharged product. So this is a centrifuge dewatering, which consists of a centrifugal machine in which rotates by means of a centrifugal force. Centrifugal force is nothing but the force acting from inwards to the outwards. So this conveyor by means of a centrifugal force causes the dewatering of the sludge. So the factors to be considered while dewatering is the force of a solid, and it is affected by some of the parameters like the force and the compaction process, and the differential speed between the bowl and the conveyor, the solid rolling rate, and also the polymer of the chemicals to be added. So this is the dewatered sludge. So The one which is present at the bottom indicates the sludge is decomposed and the dewatered sludge. So it look like a solid mass, almost like a humus or a compost. So it can be used for the further processes. And the typical performance of a dewatered digested sludge includes the inlet solids, outlet solids, the polymer requirement, solid recovery, and the centrate quality. So the solid recovery will be of more than 97%, which includes the higher efficiency. And the central quality is around less than 200 ppm only. So these all with the digested sludge and the dewatering techniques.